You can download the arts in the video for free, link in the description. A custom resource is a container or blueprint that holds variables and functions, and are very similar to scriptable objects in Unity. To create a custom resource, all you need to do is create a new script, go to File, New Script. I will name it Enemy Types Resource, as I will use this to create different types of enemies within my game. Then press Create. Inside, we first must change the extends to Resource, and we also provide a class name. This class name is important as it is what we will use later to create a custom resource file based on the script, and class name will help you identify the script as the one you want to use. Then we can export some variables. These will be unique properties that you can edit. You can also define extra functions here if you would like. However, for now, I would just define two export variables, one for the enemy speed and another for their sprite texture. This way I can make each of my enemies unique. Then in the bottom left file system, you can right click on a folder, then go to create new and select resource. Or you can right click on the empty space and select new resource. From here, we search for the class name that we defined earlier, select the enemy types resource and press create. Then we can set a name for this resource. I will call this slow enemy and press save. Now find the resource in the bottom left and double click it. And on the right, we can edit those export variables we created earlier. So for my slow enemy, I will give it a speed of 10. And I will change the texture to the enemy 1 image that you can download for free, link in the description. Now to implement this enemy type into my game, I will have a basic enemy scene that has all the basic nodes that I would need for every single enemy in my game, such as a sprite, collision, and an area 2D for detecting the player. And the script would also have basic movement logic that all of my enemies would use. Then to make every single enemy unique, we can use that resource we created earlier. Inside, we will export a new variable. This will hold an enemy type resource file, which we will be able to set uniquely on the right for every single enemy in the game. And in the ready function, I can set the sprite's texture and set my enemy speed variable to those export variables. Using the enemy type export to grab the data from my custom resource file. Now inside of my level, I can duplicate my enemy scene as much as I want and drag and drop the custom resource I created to make every enemy unique, allowing me to now create and prototype a bunch of new unique enemies without the need to create a bunch of different unique enemy scenes and scripts. And just to reiterate before, if I want to create another enemy, I can either right click on a folder and go to create new, or right click in empty space and select new resource. I then search for the class name of enemy types, select the enemy types resource file, press create. I then give it a name. I will name my new enemy fast enemy, then press save. You then double click the file, and on the right set all the properties that you would like. Then back in my level, I can select any of my enemies and drag and drop my new enemy type. Before we move on, there are some things to be careful of when using custom resources in this way. In the case that you have multiple enemy scenes, each using the same resource file, if one of these scenes decides to change a variable during runtime on the enemy type resource, they will all have it changed. This is because all instances of the same resource file have shared values. Change a value on one copy and it changes it on all. But for this example, I have two enemy scenes, each with the same custom resource of fast enemy. And inside the script, I want the enemy scene named enemy 2 to have its speed changed, but I don't want the enemy 3 copy with the same enemy type to have their speed changed as well. To do this, there are multiple ways. The first is to select the enemy, then on the right where we export the variable, select the dropdown, then select either make unique or make unique recursive. Make unique will make this custom resource unique, meaning you can edit this resource and it won't edit any other instance of the same resource. Make unique recursive will also do the same thing, but it will also make any of the exported variables inside the custom resource unique as well, such as if you were to export another resource or export a texture or audio file. The other method is inside the script. Simply grab the export variable and set it to a duplicate of itself. This will allow us to change variables during runtime without it affecting every other enemy scene with the same resource. Additionally, you can add true to the brackets, which will do the same thing as mentioned before with make unique recursive, where this will create a deep duplicate, not only duplicating the custom resource, but also duplicating any resource within the resource. For example, if you have textures being exported, then those texture files will be a duplicate version as well. This isn't needed that often, which is why Godot has deep set to false by default, but there may be some cases where you want to duplicate all the resource files inside of a custom resource. So to simplify custom resources, they are basically just script files that can be turned into usable files that hold export variables, which an example of a built-in resource file that already exists inside of Godot is the packed scene resource, which is what the .tscn or scene files use, or another example is the tile set that you create inside of a tile map layer. Overall, custom resources are quite similar to JSON files. However, custom resources in Godot are both more performant and allow for you to have functions and signals inside that can be called or omitted, like how we grab the variables from the enemy type resource. For functions and signals, we can define them like how you would inside of a regular script. But for my enemy types resource, I may have a function like take damage, which receives a health, defense, and damage value, and will return a float back to whoever calls this function. I can then have all the logic, grabbing the damage, applying the defense, and removing the total damage from the health, and using return to make this function equal that value. Then inside of my enemy scene, if I have an area 2D with a body entered signal, I can first check if the colliding body is the player node, which player node is just a variable that grabs the player. Then I can set the player's health to the result of the function, passing the health and defense of the player, and the damage that I want to deal, using the enemy type export variable to grab the function from the resource, showing that you can call functions in the same way as you grab variables, grabbing the resource and calling it. Another use case for custom resources is to use them for a save and load system. In this example, I have a save and load button, which inside the script I want them to save and load when they're pressed. For this system, go to File, New Script, I will name it Save Data Resource, and press Create. This will hold all the data that we want to save and load. To turn this into a resource, extend resource, and give it a class name, something like Save Data. Then add any and all variables that you want to save. For this example, I will just save and load the position of my player. Although, feel free to add as many variables and data that you would like to save. Then go to wherever you want to save and load your game. We can then create a variable called Save Data. This will be equal to the Save Data resource file we created before, and will eventually hold the loaded file. However, for now, make sure it's equal to a new copy of the save file resource. This is important as to ensure that there is a file that we can save to, in the case that this is the first time playing, as otherwise you would be relying on loading a save file that doesn't exist yet, because the player hasn't saved before. Then for saving, we go through the save data resource file, and update all of its variables to the latest data. For my example, I would just update the player's position variable to the player's current global position. Then to save this file to your PC, we can grab resource saver, which is a built-in class inside of Godot, and call it save function, passing the save data resource file, then the path that we want to save the file to. Make sure you do user :/ followed by whatever name you want for the save file, then followed by .tres, which is the file format of a custom resource. Then for loading, we will first check if the file exists. We can do this by grabbing the file access class, using its file exists function, and passing the exact path we used when saving. This will check if the save file exists, which if not, we use return to skip all the code below and avoid an error. Then we create a temporary variable that will store the loaded save file using the resource loader class, then using their load function with the same path that we used to save. This will grab the loaded save file. Then we can set the save data variable to the loaded save file. And then from here, you can either set variables inside of this load function to the updated ones from the save file, or you can set them inside of various nodes in your game by grabbing the script save data variable and then accessing the specific data that you want from the save file. Some extra information about custom resources is that not only can you have variables that hold built-in resources like textures and audio, you can also have variables that hold their own custom resource. Additionally, all you need to create a custom resource file is a script that extends resource and has a class name to allow you to identify the script and create a resource file from it. Also, something you may have noticed is how similar a custom resource is to a dictionary. Both have the capacity of holding a multitude of values, represented by a name, with dictionaries using a string name, and custom resources using a variable name. There are some situations where a dictionary should be used instead of a custom resource. This includes the case of wanting a multitude of different values, but the data will be exclusive to a specific script, and that data or dictionary isn't being grabbed by other scripts, where this script with the dictionary doesn't exist. Otherwise, if that data is going to be copied and edited by a variety of different scripts during runtime, and you aren't removing or adding extra variables to the data during runtime, then a custom resource is the better choice, especially if you want to use functions inside of a custom resource. Although you could always add a dictionary to your custom resource to sort out certain problems. Overall, a custom resource is just a script that holds a variety of data, functions, and signals that is then turned into a file, either manually or through code, with the purpose of simplifying your game projects by providing different types of enemies, allowing you to rely on one enemy scene and script, opposed to multiple, or to help you create a save and load system that not only holds variables, but also functions and signals, something that a JSON file save system can't do. Now you have a basic understanding of custom resources, how to utilize them in your games, and how to create a very basic save and load system that you can add to any of your Godot games. And don't forget that you can check out the project files linked in the description.